What the New York Knicks were able to do in the opener against the Cleveland Cavaliers last night really reminds Knicks fans why there is so much hype around this basketball team. There are so many things I need to break down in this video, and all the latest news and updates you need to know about the Knicks will be broken down right here on Knicks Media. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, folks. Don't forget to comment down below your overall reactions of these New York Knicks, because it has been a lot of fun watching this Knicks team play basketball so far. I was there in person, and oh boy, I enjoyed feeling the Garden go crazy for these New York Knicks. Let's get straight into business. There's a lot of things I want to break down. Mike Brown made his coaching debut for the New York Knicks, and that is the easy thing to notice the difference right away is the philosophy of Tom Thibodeau is not the same philosophy of Mike Brown. 11-man rotation early on in the game. You're going into the second quarter. 11 players have already checked in the game. That is absolutely unbelievable. 10 players had 10-plus minutes. This is what you need to have in the modern-day NBA. And I don't want to make this all about bashing Tom Thibodeau. That's not what this is about. What this is about is Mike Brown being the guy that can level up this entire roster, not just 7 players or 8 players in a tight rotation, using the entire bench. I think that was something that every single Knicks fan was really excited about. But this one thing that we have to remind ourselves as well is Mike Brown would not be able to do that if the Knicks did not have the personnel able to do it. And that's what the Knicks did this offseason by adding guys like Jordan Clarkson, adding Gershon Yabusele, having the young players from last year's draft class become big-time pieces of the rotation this year, like Ariel Hook-Porty starting for Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek filling in off the bench, really holding it down. With Malcolm Brogdon retiring, we needed a backup point guard, and Tyler Kolek was fantastic in the Knicks opener. Of course, we know what Deuce McBride has been doing. We're going to talk about that, of course, but the bench is what really separates this Knicks team from any other team across the NBA, which is why there are so many people talking about the Knicks in high regards because of the depth of the bench. The New York Knicks last season, we made that big trade for Cat. You traded away Dante, traded away Randall. The starting 5 was pretty much set, but the bench unit was absolutely nothing, and that's what really caught up to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers. Another thing to note here as well, Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart were out, and we all understand that those two guys are really important for this Knicks basketball team to have any type of success moving forward, more specifically in the playoffs. But the fact that the Knicks were able to get the job done the way that they did on the glass, by the way, dominating the glass, led by OG Anunoby, without our 2 best rebounders, was off the charts. That goes to show you how deep this team really is. And usually when players are injured, Tom Thibodeau, when he was the coach, you would shrink the rotation, but they still played 11 guys, and that right there shows you the true depth of this basketball team. Trey Jemison III getting some minutes as a backup center was really awesome to see that bench unit come together. And you see the well-balanced effort of this Knicks basketball team. I mean, you got OG getting 24 points, leading the way. Jalen Brunson with 23 points. Cat with 19. Mikal 16. Deuce 15. The Knicks are a well-balanced effort team, and I think that's another thing. You look across the NBA, there's not a lot of teams that have that many players that can put up that type of numbers. It's usually you got one guy that's putting up 30 a game, and then the rest are really good role players to support that, or you got 2 stars with some good quality pieces off the bench. But no, that's not the Knicks. The way that this Knicks team is built, it's a different animal, man. When you have that many guys that can step up to the plate and make big-time impacts on winning on both sides of the floor, it is absolutely refreshing. And I think the balance of this Knicks team is absolutely off the charts. Now, when it comes to the injury update, we have to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. He is dealing with the quad strain, a grade 2 strain, and he basically said after the game, yeah, I'm injured, and I did not want to miss this game because I did not want to disappoint the fans. Well, first of all, shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns, because he understood how much the opener meant for this Knicks basketball team to the fans. He did not want to just sit out because of a quad injury, and I can speak on behalf of Knicks fans, and let me know if you agree with this, guys. Rest, Cat. We're fine. We got the depth. This is the long haul. We're not trying to win October and November. We're trying to win in June. So please rest up, get that quad 100% healed. It takes like 2 weeks to heal up a quad strain like that, so I don't mind Cat missing the first few weeks of the season. I know we're already down Mitchell Robinson for I don't know how long. That's another thing we're going to break down here in a sec, but I would absolutely be okay with Cat sitting out a little bit, letting him heal up that quad. And I just gained a lot of respect for Karl-Anthony Towns, right? He's a tough guy, and I feel like the narrative around Cat when he came here was not exactly what he's shown since he became a Knick last season. When he got traded to the Knicks, all I heard was, oh, he's soft. He's not going to be able to fit in with New York's culture. He's soft-minded. He's whatever people said, but that's not the version of Karl-Anthony Towns I've seen. He's tough, dude. He absorbs contact. He plays through injuries. He's a tough-minded guy who has a lot of tenacity to him. Like, I'm really thankful to have Cat on our team, man. He's a very big piece of this Knicks squad, of course. The threat from the perimeter to shoot the rock, his ability to attack the paint with vengeance. And I was at the game, and I cannot see any, limitations of Karl-Anthony Towns. And that's really crazy because he was in pain out there, but he did not want it to be shown. He went out there and hustled, helped the Knicks get their first win of the season in the opener. So big shout out to Cat. Now, when it comes to the injuries to Mitch and Josh Hart, Mitch's injury is a little concerning. Ankle injury. They're going to be load managing it. I don't know when Mitch is coming back. Same thing with Josh Hart, a lower lumbar spine issue. I think both of them are going to be out for a little bit. And the good news is the Knicks got the depth, so we don't got to really be too concerned. But a big key to this Knicks team in yesterday's game that I'm really excited to watch for the early part of the season is the two wings of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. I mean, what they were able to do against the Cleveland Cavaliers on both sides of the floor, getting their hands just on the rock, really being a suffocating defensive tandem of those two guys. I think that the Knicks have the best two wings in the NBA, and that is a really big thing. Usually, you're lucky to have one good wing that can be a 3-level scorer and a 3-level, defender that can defend all 5 positions. The Knicks got 2 of those guys on the same team. Like, that is really unique here with OG and Mikal. And there was a sequence in that game where Mikal Bridges just took over the game a little bit, and he looks way more comfortable in this offense. The ball's moving freely. There's not a lot of stress on the ball where it feels like, last year the ball was just dribbling down the court. They get into a half-court set, and then it feels like a little stagnant. And listen, the offense last year was top 5 rating. I'm not going to say it was bad, but in terms of the getting everybody involved, that's the difference. I'm feeling the ball like a hot potato where there's, opportunities more for Mikal Bridges early in games to get looks. There were so many times where it felt like Bridges was being iced out, where no one really gave him the rock, no one gave him the opportunities. Early in the first game, Bridges got his opportunities. He took advantage of them. He's a really good scorer if you give him the opportunity. He took it and ran with it. A big story in that game as well was OG's rebounding. He out-rebounded Jared Allen and Evan Mobley combined. 14 boards for OG. Without Robinson, without Hart, our 2 best rebounders, we needed somebody to step up. You would assume it would be Huck Porty or Cat, but no, it was OG getting 14 big boards. That is the identity of this Knicks squad, and what's going to really make them hard to beat is the glass. A lot of people love the defense, love the offense, but there is no defense without, securing that defensive rebound and the second chance opportunities on offense to get those, offensive rebounds is pivotal. And without Mitchell Robinson, we need somebody to do just that. So I'm really excited to watch this team go out there and, face off against Boston and see what they look like early on in the season. I officially feel like this Knicks team, they're going to be one of those squads that's going to be a must-watch because there's a new man that's going to be stepping up every single game. And I said it last night, but I'm going to say it again. We're used to having Jalen Brunson having to do everything. Last year you saw a shift where he didn't have to do everything like he did in the Julius Randle era of the Knicks. But now with these guys getting really comfortable with each other, JB had an off night, 5 of 18. And it didn't really feel like anything. And the resolve in that team, the fight, the hustle, the fact that they were able to respond to every single Cavalier run, it's just one game, but I'm feeling as high as ever on these New York Knicks. Let me know where you stand in the comments, folks. I really do think that there's a lot of news that you guys needed to know about regarding these New York Knicks after the first game and entering into game number 2. Now you flip the page to the Boston Celtics. The Celtics, they are going to be on the road going up against the New York Knicks in New York. We know that the whole drama situation with Thibodeau at the Garden, Thibodeau was at the Boston Celtics practice, giving him all the information. Hey, I'm not going to really dig too deep into that one, but the Celtics are coming off a loss in their first game of the season to the Philadelphia 76ers, which is very interesting at home. So the Celtics could fall to 0-2 if the New York Knicks could take advantage of them coming home to the Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena. This is going to be a big game for the Knicks because the Knicks eliminated the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, and there's no Jason Tatum still, and they have a new type of shift in that Boston Celtics culture right now without Tatum healthy. So hopefully the Knicks can take advantage of that and get the job done. Big shout out to Sleeper, as always, for being the proud sponsor of Knicks Media all season long. Make sure you guys go check them out. You guys can get a lot of fun bets on their app right here on the NFL. Of course, the NBA. You got NBA action tonight. You can bet on everything throughout basketball, all right? And if you guys want to use the code Knicks, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You also get $20 for free when you sign up. No deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply. As always, legal in 25 states. Guys, check me out over the weekend as we continue to make content all throughout the season, folks. I love you guys. Knicks basketball is back, and it feels so good. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.